Are you an adult who thinks that you might have ADHD? Then this video is for you. My name is Dr. Ruth Dutton. I'm a board certified adult psychiatrist, and today we're going to be talking about how the inattentive symptoms of ADHD can present in adults. And this is particularly important because we know that the presentation of the inattentive subtype is very common in adults, and this is because those hyperactive symptoms tend to decrease, or we just get better at managing them or masking them over time. Now, before we get into the criteria, it's important to keep in mind a few things. One, you have to have had some of these criteria before age 12 in order to be given the diagnosis of ADHD. And that's because it's a neurodevelopmental condition, meaning that it's something you're born with. It's not something that you develop later on in life. However, you require fewer of the diagnostic criteria in order to be able to make a diagnosis. So when you're a kid, you require 6 of the diagnostic criteria, whereas when you're an adult, you require only 5. And this is because, of course, kids are more likely to have hyperactive and inattentive symptoms. And one other important thing to keep in mind is that you don't necessarily have had to meet the full criteria as a child in order to get the diagnosis as an adult. As long as you've had some criteria, some evidence of ADHD symptoms, then you can get the diagnosis as an adult. Okay, so let's talk about the different diagnostic criteria. So the first one is going to be failing to pay attention to details or making careless mistakes. So as an adult, this might look like not wanting to read the instructions for an instruction manual for something, right? You're just like, I'm going to figure it out. Or maybe at work, you're getting in trouble because you keep missing things on emails or not completing paperwork correctly or having frequent errors or mistakes on your work. Second is going to be having trouble maintaining attention on tasks. So this might look like having difficulty focusing on a meeting. Maybe you start zoning out or losing interest easily. Or maybe it's trouble focusing on tasks that you have at home. You're trying to complete some paperwork for the doctor or for your kid, and you can't focus on it. Next is going to be that they don't seem to be listening when they're spoken to. So this often comes up in relationships. So your partner might say, hey, we talked about this earlier this week. Why haven't you completed it yet? Or maybe they told you something about their day and you were zoning out, and then they get annoyed because you didn't acknowledge or respond to them. Next is going to be having trouble following through on instructions or having difficulty completing tasks. So similar to losing focus, you might be in the middle of completing some paperwork for something and you just kind of get distracted. Or maybe you're trying to accomplish some chores around the house, right? You're trying to do the dishes and then you get a text message and you're like, oh, I have to look at that text message. And then that text message reminds you of something else that you need to do. And you end up kind of half completing a number of things, but not actually finishing any task. And of course, this can be an issue at work too, right? Like if you're not actually completing the assignments that you need to do. Next is going to be having trouble with organization. So this might look like organization in your mind. So having trouble organizing maybe an assignment that you need to do or organizing your time. So this is kind of where that time blindness comes in, right? You know you have 2 hours before your next commitment and you have about 15 things you want to do, but you have trouble prioritizing or organizing yourself so that you can get the most important things done during that time. And again, you might not end up completing anything. You might be someone who frequently forgets about appointments or meetings with people. And this disorganization can also extend to your physical space. You might have trouble keeping things tidy around you or only clean up when you get bursts of hyperfocus. Next is going to be avoiding tasks that require prolonged mental effort over a period of time. And this usually is with regard to tasks that you don't want to complete, tasks that are more mentally exhausting. And of course, this can come up with procrastination. So if you're an adult who tends to procrastinate on things, this could be a symptom of ADHD.